Virgin Media are about to put prices up, and as I do every time my contract's coming to an end, I called up and used my 3-stage process in order to get a better deal for a better price. Although I'm going to be talking about Virgin Media, this should work with most telecommunication providers. I used to work in the telecommunications industry, and they're all set up in pretty much this same way. So there are 3 parts to this process: research, retain, renew. Before you even call up your provider, you're going to do the first stage of my process, which is research. Whenever I'm about to renegotiate a contract, I take a look at what's available to me. The first thing I do is take a look at my existing bill and have a look at the services being provided. Do I really need everything? Now, in this particular case, my contract that I've just renegotiated supersedes one I took out when Virgin Media and O2 announced a merger and had special deals on. When I looked at what I was being provided, it included a load of TV channels that I just don't use. It was some kind of max package. They put me on it. It was a great deal at the time, but I just don't use it. I also don't really use my phone line anymore. It's there, I've got it, but I only really use it once a year to call Virgin to renegotiate the contract. After seeing what I had and what I was really using and what I really needed, I then did an online comparison to see what I could get. This is very easy to do these days. You can jump on comparison sites. I personally use Top Cashback, and I'll leave my refer a friend code below. The reason I use that is because if I am going to switch, not only do I get offered really good deals, but I get cashback for swapping. And that can be quite a lot. In some cases, that can be up to £80. By the end of the research stage, you should know what you're currently getting, what you need, what you don't need, and what's available to you. I also happen to have seen a few billboards recently in my area for a new service provider called Brisk, which looks really interesting. I also noticed that Sky in my area had some good deals on, again between £40 and £50 a month. So I knew that my benchmark to aim for was around the £50 a month. Once you've completed all your research and you know what you want and the price you want it for, it's time to move on to stage 2, which is retain. By that, I mean you're going to call up the team that is going to attempt to retain you as a customer. There are a few things to keep in mind before you make the call. You want to stay polite, you want to try and be nice and friendly to build up rapport, and you want to be patient as well, because this could take a little while, because the first person you speak to is probably not the person you want to speak to. So in these companies, they will typically have a general retentions team, and that first line will make you some sort of offer, and a lot of people will take it. They'll say, oh, I've called up, they've made me an offer, that's great. To be honest, that's not really the good offer. And so you've got to hold your nerve here, and this is where you have to be patient. So when I called up, I spoke to an offshore call center, explained the issue, explained that I'd seen much better deals for far less money. After a few minutes, he said he needed to transfer me to a specialist team, and that's the whole point of this. He then transferred me over, and I had to explain everything again. This is why you need to be patient, because quite often they'll just do a blind transfer from their team to the second level retentions team. Now, when you get through to this second level team, this is where your work really begins. You're going to have to re-explain everything, because it's very unlikely they'll have passed through any information. But at this point, you will be talking to someone who can make you a decent offer. This is where you need to be prepared to let go of services you don't want anymore and lay out exactly what you've seen elsewhere. So I explained I'd seen offers from Brisk and Sky for around £40 to £50. He went away, had a little look. The first offer he made wasn't great because it still included all the TV stuff that I didn't need, all these extra channels. When I explained again that I didn't need those channels, he came back with an amazing offer, £50 a month for their 1,000 download. It also included the phone line, and it included the basic TV starter package, so I could keep my box, and because I only really use it for Freeview and the record feature, that was fine with me. Everything else I tend to get on streaming and catch up. So my deal was £50 a month for TV, phone line, and the 1,000 broadband. So once you've been through this process, hopefully you've been offered something that you're really happy with, like I was, and so of course you renew. Stage 3 is confirming that you're happy to go ahead. Now in my case, this didn't just include an upgrade to my broadband speed, it also included the new SuperHub 5. And so at this point, you can ask any questions you need to ask about installation, delivery date, all that kind of stuff. It's very likely that there's going to be a mid-contract price rise. That seems to be getting built into all contracts at the moment. So let me know in the comments below if you use this process. How did you get on? Does it work with your particular provider? I've used this approach year on year. Every time my contracts come up for renewal, I do the same thing and I always get a very good deal. And the key is generally to punch through that first person you're speaking to get through to the team at the back end team, and just keep going and just say, no, that's not a good enough offer. Is there someone else I can speak to? What else have you got? I don't like that offer. I'm thinking of leaving. Is there someone else? Just keep stating that you're going to leave unless you speak to someone else, and hopefully they'll transfer you through to the proper retentions team that have the really good offers.